in the streets, I just stay up. Betty Crocker show me how to make a cake, bro. Doing that, put everything I love at stake, bro. Yeah.
Hello. Welcome to WillPower UnSurfaced this Monday. What is today? May 17th. 2021, and thank you for being with us today. I apologize for us not being on air yesterday. You know, lifetime time gets in the way, and there was some incident, and I wasn't able to get to the studio on time, so I didn't want to start half an hour late. So we weren't on the air, but I thank you guys for tuning in with us tonight.
Good evening.
And I once again apologize for not being here for you guys, because I missed you guys last week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so I always miss coming on air. I really love having this podcast. It really gives me something to look forward to every Monday. I love coming on the air, and I love, talking to you guys about different things, bringing different things to the program, and also talking to you about different things. And today I wanted to talk. We were supposed to have a guest today, but they weren't able to make it. So today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about an epiphany I had today. I had, over the weekend, something happened, and it was like I didn't remember something from the past, and it just started to make me think about how many times someone in my family says to me, "Do you remember when that happened?" And I don't remember. Or when my children ask me, "Do I remember taking them somewhere or us going somewhere?" And I don't remember. And I just thought about it, like, all those years when people ask me, and these are like different accounts in my life, different people have asked me, and I really honestly don't remember. It made me sit back and take a look at how, when we're going through things in our lives, and for me, I can say mine was going through deep grief, we are actually like living, but we're not living. And I just realized that I was like a mechanism. Like, I'm just moving forward every day. I'm going to work, taking care of the kids,
right?
Doing everything I need to do, paying bills, but I really don't know what's going on.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing all these things.
Hey, dog.
But I'm like oblivious to what's actually going on around me.
Right.
So now that I'm not in that particular space anymore, when someone asks me about something that happened, like, "Do you remember when we went here?" or "Do you remember doing that or seeing that?" And I'm sitting here like, no. Like, and it's crazy because you can totally forget. And when I say, I have like blank. I have no recollection of some things. Like, I have no idea what they're talking about. And just imagine walking around in your life for years, doing things, being around people, having conversations. I could have said some crazy to somebody, and I don't have no idea even talking to this person. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just like a strange feeling I just thought about it, like, damn, like, you don't really remember. And it's like trauma. To me, it's like when you go through so much traumatic things, sometimes the strength of those traumas will take away everything else. Not everything, but it'll kill so many memories.
Right.
And for me, my whole epiphany was, why don't I remember all the fun stuff? It's always like we were at a party, or if my kids say, "Oh, Mommy took us XYZ," why don't I remember being there? Why don't I remember actually taking unless I have a picture of a place like that I know that we were there, I really truly don't remember. And it was so like eye-opening, like, because you never really know what you're forgetting, what you remember. You know what I'm saying? On my birthday, my girlfriend, one of my closest friends, she's like family to me. She was my daughter's godmother, my daughter that passed away. And she sent me a picture. And I'm holding the baby, and I'm looking at the picture, and I can't remember who the baby is. Now, I knew who her daughter was, but I was holding the baby. So I'm looking at the picture, and I'm like, wow. I'm thinking to myself, is this Nadira? Is it? So I text her, and I'm like, whose baby is this? And she texts me back. She was like, that's Nadira. And I'm standing, I was looking at the picture, and I'm like, wow. Like, it was a revelation, but it was like so hurtful too. When you just think about the pain that I was in, like, I didn't remember what my daughter looked like as an infant. The only memory that I had of her is the picture that I have, and I only have one other one. So I'm looking and I'm like, wow. And then it came to me like, oh, she did look like this when she was a baby. You understand what I'm saying? And it was like the best gift that I could have got for my birthday.
I'm sure.
It was like, wow, like, oh, look at her. And I was like just so happy to see that picture. It just made me think like, wow, when you're just living and you're in so much pain and you're grieving and you don't realize what's going on around you. You're just in constant state of motion. It just made me think that, like, realize how much of a constant state of motion I was in and not even really knowing what's going on around me.
You know, suppression is real.
Absolutely.
Trauma and grief, depression, all of those different variables will cause or can cause suppression, make you feel like you lost time. You know, and it's just, as I said to you in the car, this is where you have to be patient and gentle and give yourself some grace and some self-care and be easy with you. You know, and sometimes that's how, and I said to you, this is how you know you're growing, when it times of introspection.
Right.
You know, and anybody that's not, and after 2020, if you didn't sit down and count the cost and review your life and decide, like, yo, 2020 was very eye-opening, as I've been saying it for forever. It leveled the playing field. It gave you time to sit down and to say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I no longer want to deal with.
Right.
So you should come up with some type of action plan to come out of this mundane state that we're in, you know. And it's just, it's really, you have to make a decision, or people have to make a decision to say, you know what, I've had it. I'm not going to live in this perpetual state of melancholy forever. I'm done with this. You know, and sometimes we're so used to being sad, right, that we might have our moments of joy and happiness, but we don't live in those moments. And we know life is hard. It can be cumbersome. It can be difficult for everybody. Everybody's path is different, but it's all in how you approach it. It's all, and this is why I often say, and you know, some of my friends laugh at me because I'm a big mental health pusher. Like, yo, go and talk to somebody. You know, as you said in the car, if it's meditation, if it's yoga, you have to do what works for you to do, and align yourself with things that make you feel better. And if you are in bad situations, that's keeping you in this zombie state. You know, sometimes we are addicted to our history, and sometimes we don't want to move. Yes. So therefore we become stagnant, and we're complacent. Why? Because fear has gripped us. And then when the rug is swept from underneath your feet, once you get your footing, you got to decide, yo, I don't have a net to catch me.
Exactly.
I got to make a move here. So for some of us, it's time to bust a move. Yeah. It's time to bust a move. You know, I had a conversation with my son, and he was sharing with me how, you know, he's frustrated about some things. And I was telling him, I said, listen, frustration and disappointment, that's in your knower. That's a signal that's telling you something. It's time for a change. Right. It's time. He said, well, when I know that, I said, no. You know already. You know already. That's why you feel like you feel. Now it's up to you. You have the feeling. You have the knower. It's knocking on you. It's telling you you're requiring something different. Now, what are you going to do? Are you just going to suppress it and ignore it? Or are you going to go after what you think that you want? Or go after what you want? The ball's in your court. So I say to you guys, don't live in this perpetual state of melancholy. Don't live in this zombie land. Get up. Make some changes. I don't care. You got to start small. One thing at a time. Realize how much time you've lost. Yes. And in all actuality, you are right where you're supposed to be.
You know, it's like you got to ask yourself, do you want to keep feeling like this? You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to just keep feeling bad.
Right.
Like, that was like the easiest thing for me to do was just, I guess just feel bad, or,
hey, daughter,
you know, next to just moving in a perpetual state of unconsciousness. Because that's how I feel like after I dug myself. I kind of felt like I was consciously unconscious. You know what I'm saying? And I was just moving because I had to. Like, my body said move, so I was moving. But I wasn't dealing with things that happened to me. And if I did try to deal with them, grief and guilt would succumb me. Like, you have no idea. It feel like it would just grip me and choke me. The grief and the what I felt about losing my daughter. You know what I'm saying? It was like it's always the worst voices that pop out the most in your head. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it used to be things like I used to sit and I used to be like, well, maybe I should just talk to somebody, or maybe I should just share my experience with somebody. You know what I mean? And then I had this other voice like, psh, like really, like who gonna listen to you? You had a person around
your
voice
is needed.
Let me tell you. I used to sit there and so much self-pity sometimes for what had happened to me. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes when you in grief and you're pitying yourself, you can't see your way out. You don't see a way out. You just feel like, oh, like, woe is me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if you really, really just don't want to feel that way, because deep down, if you really didn't do anything and you really have nothing to feel guilty for or feel bad about, something inside you, if you wanted to, it'll pull something great out of a situation that you can't control. And I used to just sit there and be like, well, maybe it's, it took me a long time. But then I started seeing a lot more of my situation coming about. And I'm like, wow, like I always like felt like, wow, if I would have said something before, maybe if I would have spoke out a little bit about it before, I could have saved somebody else from a situation.
Right.
And I always had like a lot of shouldas, couldas, And that was the thing with me starting my podcast, is I would sit there and I would just wallow in my self-pity. Mm-hmm. When I know I had something that I wanted to share, something I felt like things happen in our life. We cannot control everything. You only can control what you can control.
That's it.
You can't control things that you can't control.
That's it.
And a lot of times when we moving around and doing what we doing, we don't want to deal with our pain because we want to be in control.
I agree.
And because we can't control it, then we don't want to work through it either. Because when you start working through things and you start self-searching and looking back into your past, looking back at some of your decisions, the things you did, not even just with the situation with my daughter, all kinds of different all kinds of different bad ass decisions that I made in my life, or dumb ass decisions that I'm gonna say dumb ass decisions, because some of the shit was just dumb, and that's just bottom line. Like you sit back and you think, you be like, damn, that was dumb. Like, and it's like no getting around it. Some things you can say, oh, some stuff, like, but some shit was just dumb. And if you checking yourself, you have to be able to say to yourself, like, that was really a dumb decision that you made. Because some people are like, oh, don't say it was that. The shit was dumb. And some of those decisions that you made was dumb. But when you're checking yourself and you honestly really want to check yourself and you really feel like, damn, all right, I made that happen. You understand what I'm saying? This happened. But this not really who I am or really where I really want to be. That was like a dumb mistake. That was like a dumb action. I shouldn't have did that. But we're going to rebound and we're going to bounce back from that and we're going to move on to something else. You know what I'm saying? I feel like greatness comes on the other side of fear. And you know how you listen? I know for me, I listen to a lot of motivational speakers and stuff. Mm-hmm. And they all say stuff like that. Like, you be in fear. But on the other side of that fear, greatness come on the other side of that fear. And it's the truth. Because I know when I wanted to start the podcast and I just kept on pussyfooting around with it, and I was like, I want to start a podcast, and then I would write some stuff down, but I really wasn't taking a lot of action. And I listened to a lot of motivational speakers, and David Goggins is one of the people that I really like to listen to him, right? I really like, because he just got this like rough, like military, like sit your dumb ass down type of, you know what I mean? Like, he the type of person that can check you from his book. Like, when you listen to his audio book, right, he checks the shit out you and you ain't even thinking that you getting checked. Right. And I could just hear him saying stuff to me like, get off your fat ass, you want to lose 30 pounds? I be having that in the back of my head. Like, I feel like he's cussing me out. But it's like, it's funny because, you never know who can motivate you, what'll motivate you. And listen, because when I listened to his book, and when I read all the stuff that he went through to get to the place that he's at, and he was really heavy, and I don't even talk about weight, I'm talking about all that stuff he went through, Navy SEALs, and how he had to go through it like 3 times, and nobody ever went through it, and he had to like run with shin splints, and he taped up his shins to run in a race, and I be sitting there like, and you don't want to do 20 push-ups. You don't want to do. You don't want to
do push-ups.
You don't want to do no sit-ups or nothing, huh? He done ran a whole race with his feet taped up with duct tape around his ankles.
So there's no excuse.
And that's why I like listening to him. Sometimes when I get down, I will go back and I will listen to some of the parts of his audio book because I got like a real extensive audio book library, right? And I got stuff in there like Unfuck Yourself. Like, it's a book called Unfuck Yourself, and I would suggest that you guys read it because the guy who wrote the book, he's really telling you how to get out your own way, right? And, you know, I read those books, and I might take a little bit out of this one, a little bit out of that one on a day, or depending on how I feel, who I might want to gravitate toward. Right. But it's like, I need those things sometimes. Like, I need to listen to David Goggins. I need to go back to certain parts of his book and listen to the things that he went through, like in his childhood. And you know what I'm saying? Because some stuff, sometimes when you listen to somebody else's story, your story may not always seem so bad after you listen to somebody else. That's true. Because I don't know if I could have went through, what was that Navy SEAL?
I knew I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't even made it past basic training.
Listen, my cousin was in the Navy. I asked her how. She said she went up for that. So I was like, how long you last before you had to ring the bell? She said 10 seconds. I said, see this shit.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I wouldn't have made it. That's what I'm talking about. They'd put me out.
Listen, and he went back 3 times and he finally did it.
But he was determined. That was his determination.
And I mean, he did it barely moving, barely breathing. So, it's, you know, and that, like I said, that's like motivation for me because I just feel like sometimes we go through so much stuff in our lives and so many of us suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder and we don't even realize it. But, you know, in society, being who we are, we're born into trauma. And I was just telling Dawn how I feel like, you know how they say when you're born in the sin. Well, I feel like for blacks in America and a lot of blacks all around the world, we're born into trauma.
Well, sometimes I did hear something about like the way the birthing process now from how different it was years ago. It was no trauma on the baby. Now the way that they, you know, the whole birthing process this is traumatic. Right. So the baby is born into trauma. Right. So the way that he or she is, you know, is traumatic.
Right. And we come into the world through trauma, and then when we get here, especially if you're black and maybe some other minority who might have a little rough getting, now we got to deal with the trauma of society. We're just innocent children, but we might, you know, be slighted because of our skin complexion or something like that, disability, whatever the case. We be born in the trauma. And so then we have to deal with the traumas that we have that we can't control, and then traumas that come into our lives, you know what I mean? Things that we subject ourselves to. So it constantly feels like we are in a state of trauma. And that's how come having a bright outlook on life and trying to pull out the best things about what's going on in your life to help you get out of the trauma. Because we can sit back and wallow in self-pity every day and it'll never go away. There's always going to be something to be self-pitying about, like how you waste your stimulus check or why you shouldn't have ate that ice cream at 10 o'clock last night.
Who got that stimulus check? I ain't get one.
Damn, that's fucked up. They did you like that?
They did me dirty.
You supposed to be able to get one.
I didn't get none.
No, you supposed to be able to get one.
I ain't getting none of the 3.
I heard you can apply. So
but
you should check that out.
It's interesting. Like for me, I was sharing with my bestie and I said, listen, I need to go back to school. I said, but honestly, my fight is, do I even have the energy to do it? I said, now I know I need to go, but do I feel like it? And I can't say to this one person, I can't say, hey, I want to go back to school.
Because then they're going to hold you accountable.
But wait, no, you know what he going to say? If I say something tonight, it'll be tomorrow morning. Why you ain't called to school? What you waiting for? See, I don't feel like that I don't feel like that pressure. Let me come to I'm going to go. But I'm just like, do I really want to go? Why? Because my history, I get frustrated. Them kids, the students get on my nerves. And then I say, you know what? I'm out of here. I don't feel like I go and I'm like, y'all getting on my nerves. I don't feel like this. I'm in here, I'm trying to hear, and y'all in here talking and shit. Shut up. You know, because that's, you know, then I'd be like, oh, God. So, again, I said we're addicted to our history. Anything that's bad. So sometimes our history keeps us paralyzed.
Yes,
it keeps us in a
absolutely.
box. So therefore, you got to break the mold. You got to break the history. So now I know that I have to push past it because I can identify what's stopping me from I had to be to work at 6 o'clock. So that meant I was up at 5 o'clock. Then I'm in class at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I go home. I'm still a parent. I go home. Got to deal with my child. Make sure the homework and stuff is done because I can't, family's supposed to help. And then once he started, he wasn't doing well in school. I stopped.
Right.
You know why I stopped? Because I don't believe in excelling and my child failing. I don't believe in that. So then I went back. I was like, all right. I said, you know what? I'm tired. I do my homework. Homework? What? I'm not doing no homework. I said to my classmate, yo, who got the homework? Like we're in high school.
Look, now you're in high school. What's them little black and yellow books? Cliff Notes. Now you need the Cliff Notes. Now
it was one final. It was a group of us, the kids, that went and found out how to get it off the computer. Had the answers. I scored highest out of my whole group. And I think the teacher said, Professor, you changed the answer. You listened to them kids. I said, no. So instead of getting 100, I had like a 96.
Right.
They had like 80s and stuff. Y'all kids mess me up. Like, y'all mess me up.
I was just telling talking to Javina earlier, the young lady that was on the show, and I was just telling her, like, I want to go back to school. I said, you know what happens with me when it comes to school? I'll start. But if one class pull my GPA down, I'm withdrawn. That's it. Did you give me a 76? Oh, no. This 3 point. This got to be a 3.5 or better, or this class is not going on my track. And because of that, I withdrew like twice. Listen, I understand. But again, like, I know I need to go and I'm going to go. Yes. So I'll be sitting in somebody's class on my online in September because that's a goal that I set for myself. Right. That this is something I have to do and it's about me. It's not about anybody else. I don't need anybody. If nobody motivates me, my internal motivator will kick in and say, hey, you know what you're supposed to do. Right. You know where you're supposed to be. So let's go. So again, I can't allow my past, my history of me getting frustrated and don't want to be bothered and I'm tired and no. Stop thinking about the kids.
Exactly. So I'm like, all right, let me try online. You know what I'm like? Yo, it is what it is. So, and this is the other thing. Again, here we go with fear. And I know we said this earlier that a lot of times people won't move because they're paralyzed by fear and their history of whatever it is that life has dealt them. They are afraid to look and see what's on the other side. Right. They see what's on the other side, but they don't have the wherewithal to get up and go to the other side. Why? Because they don't want to. You don't want to rock the boat. Right. You don't want to. In all actuality, you have a fear of failure, and your fear of failure is yourself. Right. So you're fighting against you. Right. And as long as you stay complacent, you don't have to fight. Right. You don't have to fight yourself. You just stay there. You just stay there. Because you're doing all right you all right right now. But you're in zombie land because you're unhappy. And I see this so much, and I just look and say, like, yo, there's so much life that's out here that's for you, so many opportunities. Yes. But if you won't take advantage of it, I can't force you to do it. Only thing I can do is encourage you to do it. It's up to you. The ball is always in your court. Absolutely. What are you going to do with it? But again, everybody is not awakening. Well, hopefully we can wake some people up. Hope we really can wake some people up today because we got EA here with us today. Yay! Come on. Y'all know, I know if y'all watch our show, y'all know who EA is.
Hello. Let me say it properly. Hello. How you doing? You know, first of all, that didn't come from Wendy Williams. She did not vent. How you doing? That came from who, Madea? No, that came from, I forgot my man's name. He used to work on Power 99. That's a shame.
Carter and Sanborn?
No, not Carter and Sanborn.
Oh, I'm talking about
that's a friend. No, dang. I mean, not a close friend, but in the music industry is a guy that, me being in the game 21 years straight, moving and shaking in the industry, he started, how you doing? He used to do it at Power 99. Those that they going to say, oh, yeah, such and such.
Oh, but she did work at Power 99 when she started.
Yeah, she did. And she got it from him.
Right.
Trust me. Right. I know the history. But I want to ask a question because I'm a withdrawer.
Okay.
Let me tell you. But I'm also an individual. I fit that same diagnosis that she just diagnosed. Mm-hmm. If I said that correctly.
Right.
I do it for me. A lot of times when I get dressed, I cannot be going anywhere special. And people say, "Yeah, you look nice. You got on XYZ, XYZ. Why are you so dressed up? Where are you going?" Outside.
Right.
Hello. That's why I say that.
Right.
Hello. When you hear me say hello, I don't say it because, first of all, Medea invented it. It's funny. But I say it to say, like, hello, like, you're alive?
Like, I did this for me. Like, yeah. Really?
No, honestly. I withdrew. I went to school. At this time, when I was working for NCO Financial, I was a supervisor there. Came home from jail in November 98. And working, I said, when I came home from jail, I said I will come home and I will take a $5 an hour job working in jail for 5 years, starting off with 18 cents an hour, being the max being 51 cents an hour, which was $85 a month. And I said, wow. When I go home, I was already studying psychology, sociology in the jail. Right before they took the education out of the system, it was $85 or $50 a month to join these classes, where a professor from Penn State came to the jail. I'm telling you, people don't believe me when I tell them.
I went to a graduation up there, and it was Villanova. They graduated from Villanova.
Right.
Upgraded
like, they really got,
they
people
got the bachelor's
argued
degrees.
that it was, they going to school for 50, 60, 70, 80,000, where they taking it is only going to be 3,000.
Wow. You should be glad they're going back to get an education.
It was a part of educating us. But anyway, make a long story short. So when I came home, I took that $7 an hour job. You know, I counterpulled it so much because I used what was instilled inside of me, which was gift for gab, and I was a quick learner.
Right.
Now, we'll say education is important, so talking about schooling and getting credentials and education, but I want to stay on the topic because sometimes I get lost, and I definitely are conscious what I'm saying. But when I went to college, I withdrew, but I was agreeing to owe $20,000-$30,000 for business management. Mm-hmm. But I was in class I withdrew after 6 months. All right, now I enjoyed the writing skills part. You know, they give you the basics. And I said, I'm really not that smart. When I was in school, I was an A student until I learned to fight all the time, and I always liked to bust on people, and I always bought now ladies in school, and I had all the girls.
Right.
So the teachers say, no, I know why you hard-headed and you don't listen because you got those little ears. Y'all see my ears? Let me show y'all my ears for the... See? But that wasn't true. I just was talkative because I had so much information into me. But if the teacher... And I was in a couple... those classes, special ed classes. Okay. No lie, I used to be afraid to admit that. This is my first time ever in my entire life ever admitting that, yes, I rode the little yellow bus.
It's okay. I drove one.
And I had the window seat. Yup. I demanded it. It was something about the window seat, and I quoted that broad and alley, being hoe.
I like those kids the most.
So
actually.
What? Yeah.
They listen.
So
back.
What? Yeah, I'm aboard now.
That's what's up.
But I wasn't in there because I had like a issue. I had a behavioral problem.
Right. And that's the first thing
I was a class clown. I was diagnosed as a class clown.
Wow, that is not a diagnosis.
Yes. I was but they was telling the truth. I still like to tell jokes.
But that wasn't the reason for you to be
52 years later, I'll be 53, God willing, July 1st. I'm still a class clown. And my favorite phrase that I say on my show, I don't want to grow up. Because if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid. I used to love that commercial. All right, let's get back to what I'm saying. The reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay? And all your folks waving at you, you're supposed to wave back. Y'all rude. Y'all wave back. No, you're supposed to hit wave and it'll say, you see all the waves?
That's why we need people like him, because I'm almost like, I be forgetting to wave.
But sometimes you got to scroll up. See, because I love people that sit and take, look at all them waves. They saying hello. How y'all doing?
Look how many people said Facebook said on here.
No, I understand. But let me get to the reason why I said this.
Facebook don't be letting me know y'all on here. It say I got 3 people on my line. I
scroll
down, there are 50, 11 people.
No, it's just telling you all the people at one time that may stay actively joined in. But anyway, it ain't about the minimize of the people. It's about the maximum of the. If those 3 loyal people,
that's right.
Salute them because we don't care about having 100 phony people.
I salute all my guests,
right.
all of my
anyway.
Everybody who take a moment out to watch me, I appreciate them.
So let me tell y'all, because I'm exposing something. Yes, I was on the little yellow bus. I had the window seat. I went to APC. It was called Alternate Placement Center. It was right there. The little building is still there before you get to Franklin Mills. I swear I'm going to take a picture and I'll show y'all next Monday so you can. But that building seemed so Shellcross. Remember that?
No.
They had an upstairs part. It was a juvenile facility. But anyway, just coming out of all those issues, saying I was that. Small ears, you can't listen. You're not going to listen. You're never going to be this. Whatever. Those things do have impact.
Yes, they do.
Like, I went back when I got out of jail, took that 7 hours job. 6 months later, I got on a crew called Inbound, which was all the guys that made 60, 70,000 and above. I made 13 hours an hour then. Yeah, we're going to give you 13. Come on to this new section. This is where all the heavy hitters at. I out-collected them so much. I was at about $26 an hour less than a year.
Wow.
NCO Financial, everybody know. They know who I am. They know I'm a bull. Everybody know. They used to call me Wallace. Chris Wallace, that was my dunny name. But anyway, I got married. I'm divorced now, but I got married. 2002, I came back. My boss said, you want a supervisor job? From 2002, I've been in management. Last year, I made $98,000 a year working. The year before that, I made a bean 10. I came from selling drugs, came from nothing. I came from living with 13 people in one house. It's on the educational side.
Right.
Some of y'all can catch the quickness of me explaining this. Then you can learn from it for yourself instead of me trying to dialogue everything. Because time is money, so I'm going to hurry up. When I was working, I was a supervisor. Oh, now I'm trying to kill that stereotype of felon.
Right.
You're never going to get a job. I got turned down 1 million times. I used to clean movie theaters at night for $80 a week until a job said, come on. Now I manage a $90 million portfolio for very, very rich white family. They treat me good.
That's what's up.
Absolutely. I went to Rosemont University for business management. When I seen that, it was teaching me how to just do proposals and stuff like that.
How to write a business.
Oh, no. I already know how to articulate that already.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
I know how to have a conversation. I can have a conversation with a billionaire. I already handle receivables, delinquent receivables for some of the Fortune 1500 companies, Fortune 500 companies, and mom and pop stores right now. So why do I need this degree? Why do I need to pay y'all all this money to get this piece of paper? Yes, I agree. I need this piece of paper. Please tell me, am I stuck in between fear or am I stuck in between not giving you this money that I know that sometimes people are not going to get job placement with it? My son was lucky by getting ABC News. He went to school for communication.
Right.
Which I know everybody in Power 99, DAS, Clear Channel, Viacom, all them stations, you got to have at least a communications degree.
Right.
To get in radio, broadcasting, the whole nine.
Right.
Everybody don't luck up. They get paid monthly. Do you know some of them disc jockeys get $700 a month?
Yeah.
They be celebrity status.
Wow. I know.
Wow.
Yes.
$1,000. I ain't trying to talk about the position,
but, it's
but I'm keeping it real.
Yes,
so going back to getting this degree, I believe that if I can read, I can be taught. Like I was the collection manager first, commercial, not calling you about no medical bills or credit cards. Commercial, business to business. Now I'm the sales manager. I had no experience. But when the offer came on the table plus a $25,000 increase, I said, I'll try it. She said, why would you try it? Tell me one reason why. I said, because I can comprehend. I can read first. I can comprehend. That makes me understand what I'm reading. So why wouldn't I try it?
Right.
If I can be taught, let's go back to you. If you can be taught You could do anything.
Yes.
So these sisters bring a lot of knowledge to the table. Sometimes y'all don't take advantage of it. Like, I have a film that I've been working on. This film is June 13th. It's the premiere. It's an independent black film of black babies, black children, black adults, black teenagers, models.
First, use your fingerprints to unlock the device.
What? Somebody's phone's talking. Is that
That's
my
yours.
phone? Bixby is drawing. Is it? Yes, it is. I will not continue. My phone was
Siri.
recording everything I was saying.
Siri said,
I got
please.
Bixby because I got Android. But anyway,
Oh, yeah, I got that.
this show is June 13th. It's 3 collaborative fashion and hair shows that I have done. One at the Freedom Theater on Broad Street before they closed it down. That was the last fashion show I had there. Just like the Blue Horizon shut down. They closed down some
great
historical
places that we had in the city.
The second one was the Omni Arts Center. The third one was at the library, the free library up the street, the Logan Library. They put a $5 million renovation in there. When the director asked me, hey, why don't you, I like what you're doing with your children. I like your shows. Why don't you do one here? And she said, but you can't charge. Why would I want to do one here? I can't monetize it. Then I said, EA, get something back to the community. I was starting to fall in love with the stories of the children, how some 13-year-old children were kind of molested or raped or whatever you call it, misogynised by men in the modeling field. And when I was covering their stories, blew my mind. The stuff that the models go through, male and female. One little girl, 8 years old, told her story, had enough courage, and told her mom, can I tell Mr. EA my story? Her story was this little boy in school was picking on her. He liked her so much, he used to pull her hair, the whole nine. I won't say no more. He didn't go too far, but he went far. I'll tell it. He kissed her on the lips one day.
Okay.
And she wanted to tell her story now that she feel... You know, she used to not want to model no more after she wanted to model. And she said she used to watch, I forgot the black one that everybody loved, the chocolate one.
Naomi Campbell.
Not Naomi, the new one, the real dark skin one.
The one
the one
From Sudan. Yeah.
I can't think of her
And
name.
that blew my mind. So, I wanted to, now I know, y'all got some kids? Y'all can?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Know about
So,
kids.
I want to donate some kid tickets now. I already shot myself in the foot because it's like a wedding reception and you know it's at least $35, $39, $40 a plate. So I was only charging $25 for adults, $15 for children, but I want to donate some tickets to y'all show to give some children, to bring some children.
Guys, bring some children
because
to
I want
the show.
y'all black butts in the building because y'all
I'm
somebody that I
definitely
love
here.
and I want y'all to see what I put together for our black independent models where Fashion Week, New York, Miami, LA, DC. I asked all the models and the designers, I say, when is the last time you seen one of your professional photos that they asked you to spend this money for and be a part of an event? When the last time you seen it on any of their websites? You never have you? They will never promote you. They use your income. They use your families. You sell 30, 40 tickets. They put you in a show, but you never get no accolades.
Right.
Y'all seen my Philly Uncut documentaries on Tubi.
Right.
This is where this is going. This fashion show film is going to Tubi, global network. And one thing about Tubi versus Netflix, Tubi is free. You don't need a subscription. You need an email address.
Right.
And a television or a smart device. So I want to run, through, roar, rive. I get a little retarded. Excuse me, y'all. Now, I want to donate 5 children. And I want to give y'all one apiece for yourself as adults to come.
Thank you so much.
You know, I really want y'all to
he's
come.
donating some tickets. So we have 5 children's tickets. So this means parents, we're gonna need for you to support EA.
Now it's at the Hilton. Is that the Walt Whitman Ballroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like going to a wedding reception where it costs you $55 a plate. Just think of that. It's a sit-down dinner, semi-formal dress code, strictly enforced. Meaning you gotta get suited and booted, and it's a great event to have your family outing.
Yes.
Mask required, but you will be. Now the capacity is 600, but they'll only allow me 138, so it's spread it out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
it's like 6 a
cold.
table, so I'm gonna set it up right because I want everybody to still be safe. Even though my last words to y'all before I run, I trust two things: the facts and the facts. I trust that black scientist, that black doctor. When she gave herself the shot, I was convinced after my daughter said, "Dad, are you going to get your shot so we can go away?" I'm fully vaccinated.
All right.
To each his own. You ain't got to get it. Play at your own risk. I was just nervous, so I said, yeah, though. Thank you, WillPower, all day.
Thank you. This is so nice.
And that's, of course, you guys know that was EA, and it's always a pleasure to have EA on our show. And so, as he was saying, he is hosting the Storm of Fashion movie premiere. It is going to be on June the 13th at the Walt Whitman Hilton, and it's in Camden. You can get the tickets on Eventbrite. The tickets are $25 a piece. It's a semi-formal affair, and if you want your children to go, we have free tickets for your children. So if you like to purchase a ticket, and you should purchase a ticket, take your child. It starts at 3. It's over at 6, and we've been stuck in the house. Everybody's been stuck in the house. We haven't been able to get out. This is a semi-formal affair, so get dressed up because I can't wait. I'm going. I can't wait to put on something cute and look fancy. Okay.
Yes,
so I'm about to.
We will be there.
Yeah. So we will definitely be in the house for the fashion show, for the movie, and I can't wait. I'm so excited to see what EA does because I've seen a couple of his other videos where he does the has his fashion shows and watching. It's really, and they got all the little kids and it's so cute. So don't forget, guys, support EA Philly Storm of Fashion movie premiere, and that is on June 13th in Camden.
Yes.
And that's what we have to do. We have to support each other, and that goes back to what EA was saying. How look where he's at.
Yeah.
You know, there's the only thing that's stopping you is you.
And that's it. And maybe college isn't for you. Maybe trade school will work better for you. And then also, this is the other thing. If you're on a job and there's advancement opportunities, apply.
Yes.
You know, even if you don't have the degree, apply. You'll be
Yes.
surprised what doors will open up for you. And it's the thing, if you have the right attitude,
Yes.
and if you're teachable, that's important.
Yes.
You must be teachable because nobody's going to give you an opportunity if you're not teachable, and if you're not dependable and reliable, you can hang it up. If you're not, and that plays a big part. Be teachable, be coachable, be open to constructive criticism, and learn to not take things personal.
Yes.
And a lot of times people will overlook us because we take things personal and because of our attitude and our body language and our nonverbal. People don't really pay attention to that. Your nonverbal expressions, your nonverbal cues speaks volumes. You're speaking, your attitude is speaking, and you don't even realize that it's speaking.
Right.
So, again, if opportunity's on your job, go for it. If it's not there, if you work in a particular system that has more than one location, it's okay to post out.
Right.
I was a stickler when I got frustrated when I was at the hospital. I think I stayed on the OR 7 years, and I got frustrated. I had enough. I went and looked at that board,
Right.
and I found
Let me see
I
what
found
they
me
got up
a
here.
management opportunity, and I went and they trained me. Child, please. I went to the director. I used to chase him down the hallway because
Right.
he was hilarious. We had the most funniest relationship. He was like, if I hire you, you can't be chasing me down the hallway, give me no more noogies. I was like, all right.
Right. Because sometimes you just got to chase people to get what you want. See?
I was like,
I
all right.
chase people through jobs too, so and I not literally down the hall, but I've like been on their phone like 1,000 times. They had to hire me.
But he would come to the OR and he would tell my old boss, he would say, that girl's crazy. Something's wrong with her.
He hired you.
But I went. It was a 5-minute conversation. He's like, all right, when you want to start? When do you want to start? I was like, all right, put me in like May 18th, something like that. He's like, all right, come down. I said, all right, cool. And that was that. And then from there, I progressed on.
Right.
But the thing is, I was frustrated. So again, do not be afraid to post out. Nothing beats a failure but a try.
Yes, absolutely.
If you have the potential, if you're coachable, be coachable. That is so important. Again, if college isn't for you, trade school is an option. If you're in a position, or if you work for a company or a healthcare system that's unionized, most of them have, some of the unions have classes that you can take, that you can get different certifications. So therefore, to help you move around.
Right.
Take advantage of that. No sense in paying union dues and you're not benefiting from the education piece from it. And this is why I often say you got to know what's in your benefits package. You know, besides having pharmacy, prescription coverage, and medical coverage, your benefits package has so many components to it. Please take advantage of it. Again, these are things that only you can do. How you want to feel better, you want to come out of this zombie state, and you just this melancholy and you just complacent. You got to climb your way out of it step by step.
Absolutely.
Nobody can do it for you. Only you can do it. So challenge yourself. Again, look where you were in 2020 and say, you know what? This ain't it. I had a chance to really sit back and reflect. Like me, I'll sit down and I'll write in the book. I'll write in my journal. Right. And I'll say, okay, this is where I am. This is how I'm feeling. And then 6 months from now, I'll look back because I'm not in the same place. Because I'm able to identify. Then I can say, okay, this is why I feel like this.
Yes.
When I can identify, that's how you know you're doing the work. When you can identify the patterns and stuff that make you feel some type of way, it's up to you. Then you can break the pattern. But you got to know what you're dealing with.
Yeah, and that's you do. And if you don't doing the work on yourself, so how you know what you're dealing with if you're not going to put in the work? And don't be afraid to fail. Like Michael Jordan said, he fell like 1,000 times. I listened to one of his, I don't know if it was a gold cast or he was speaking and he was just talking about his experience being a basketball player, and somebody was saying to him like, but you're Jordan, like you're so famous, like you have everything, like I don't have nothing. And Michael Jordan was like, well, I didn't always have everything. He's like, you know how many times I fell? He said, look at baseball. He was honest. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't do great at baseball. He said, you know how many times I fell before I got to be where I'm at?
And this is why we always say, whatever it is that you want to do, just get it out. Go ahead and do it.
Just do it.
It doesn't matter whether you fail. If it's a success, the thing is that you did it.
See, the thing is, you're going to feel so good when you did something that you always wanted to do and you finally do it. Like, I wanted to go in the studio and record this song. Now, I know some people might listen to my little song and said it was corny, but I was hype about my little shit. So what they said didn't really matter to me. Or how they felt, because guess what? Because they probably ain't got a song that they recorded in the studio.
They sitting on doing nothing.
And I've been trying to do that since the 80s.
And there's one thing. And this is why I always say, one of our previous guests, he said you take your ideas and you throw your ideas against the wall and something's going to stick.
Yeah.
So we thank Dave Miller for that, and that's why I don't want to use his quote without giving him putting its proper context.
That's the one.
Dave
he got
Miller.
The good water,
listen,
and the sunglasses and the cookbook.
Okay, y'all support
stuff.
him, Dave Miller. Look him up online. I think it's phillygoodwater.com.
Right.
And I think
That's
his
website
is Peace and Love, I believe. I think it's peaceandlove.com. But anyway, look him up.
MV Eyewear on 50. MV Eyewear
on 52nd Street. It's an African American owned eyeglass place. So y'all support him. But again, he dropped a serious nugget. Just take your ideas and throw them against the wall, and one of them is bound to stick. So whatever it is that's in you, as I often say, die empty. Your goal is to die empty, to get whatever it is that's in you, to get it out. Just take your stuff and keep throwing it. And that's the thing that you're going to cross off your list. You have a list of things that you want to do. I don't care if you have 5 things that you want to accomplish before the end of the year. Write them down and get started. So if you want to wait till June 1st, so if you start June 1st, that means you got 6 months from June to December to accomplish these 5 goals, and you can do it. But take whatever it is, take the initiative and say, you know what, I'm going to do this.
Right.
I'm going to do whatever I'm going to count the cost, whatever it's going to cost me, and I'm just going to do it. I'm going to be consistent.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We start, but we're not consistent. Because somewhere along the line, we get discouraged because we feel like we're not gaining, we don't have the momentum and attraction that we want. No, it's a process, sweetheart. So hang in there. Keep at it. Keep throwing your stuff against the wall. If you want to do T-shirts, get you 10 T-shirts made, okay? Or even if you do pre-order,
that's what I did. That's how I started.
Just do it.
10 T-shirts with my willpower.
If you want to write a book, as we learned from our past guests 2 weeks ago, 10 pages. 10 pages. I bought 6 books.
Yes, we bought some
6
books. So don't
books
forget,
for my nephews.
patronize Javina.
We put our
her
money
book
where
for
our
children.
mouth is. So
Yes.
again, we applaud her. So I say it's 10 pages long to tell you that it does not have to be 100 or 200 page book. It does not. So do what it is that you have to do. If you want to write a little devotional, then do that. If you want to do a journal, then create that. It can be a 30-day journal. That's 30 pages. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So do whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to write a song, write it. If you want to sing the song and record it, go to the studio. Some of these studios are very affordable. It's all about you taking advantage and doing what you do, because if you close your eyes, you want people to say good words.
Right.
Good words over you, and your list of your accomplishments will speak for themselves.
Exactly.
Because they will say, you know what, he or she made great use of their time.
Exactly.
And that's vital. That's important. You didn't spend your life just meandering, just going with the flow. No, you used the time that God gave you, because honestly, none of us know when our time is up.
Yes.
So it's important that we take advantage and make great use of our days. Get it done.
And I just feel like we have the time. Like, we waste so much time on so many things. You know, all of us are guilty of wasting some time on something. But it's just a little. It only takes a little bit of time. And you know, if you think about it, if you take an hour out of your day and put it towards something that you want to do, because who was I listening to? I was listening to somebody, and they was talking about was it about procrastination or not having the drive, right? To get up to do whatever it was that they wanted to do. They didn't have the drive. And the person that they was talking to, I don't know who was it, Spike. I can't remember who this. It was somebody that, you know, that's a entertainer or something like that, or a motivational speaker. They were saying, no, it's not important to you. See, that's the thing. The reason why you haven't gotten that off the ground is because it's not important to you. Because the things that you find important, you do.
You do.
We make excuses when we say we want to do something, but what really holds us back is fear of what if we don't make it? What if nobody likes it? What if it doesn't go off like I think it should? But when you get to a point where you're doing something for yourself and you say, you know what, I don't give a shit who don't like it. I'm going to go out here and do whatever it is that I feel like I need to do for me.
You do it, people will support you.
People will support you. It's probably not going to always be your following. 9 times out of 10, most of the time, a lot of people's don't follow them. And what I realized is, I used to be like, well, damn, people don't support. They don't come by the stuff. But guess what? It's okay. Because a lot of my family and friends did patronize me, and a lot didn't. But what I do realize is, and what I did learn through all my journey of doing everything that I'm doing, like my podcast, selling my, my T-shirts or hoodies or whatever, and the things that's going to come beyond it, is that it doesn't really matter. Their fear of not being successful is what they project. So when they're not supporting you, it's because they're afraid. Excuse me, my allergies are driving me crazy. So sometimes people are afraid to jump out there and venture out and do something great because of fear. And their fear, they will project those fears on you.
Yeah.
They will tell you that you can't do something. Everybody else is doing that. Because I don't know how many times when I said I'm going to have a podcast, I remember somebody laughing. I was like, you know how many podcasts it is? I don't give a damn if it was 2 million. I'm going to do mine. Because on mine, they're not talking about what I'm talking about. So it did not deter me. What it really actually did is it really was like, you know what? I'm going to do my podcast. Because I really kind of like hate when people tell me I can't do something. Like, if you really want me to do something, you probably tell me that I can't do it, and I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? Because hate is the motivator.
And you never know where.
Sometimes hate can be the motivator.
You never know where your support is going to come from. That's just like Dave posted something the other day on Facebook. He posted one of his friends. He sells wine, red wine. Doesn't have the white yet. And I've never tasted it. And I said to Dave, how does it taste? And he said, it's good. He said, I said, is it sweet? And he said, yes, I bought 2 bottles. Okay. I ain't open them. But the thing was, I saw it.
You should have bought me. I would have opened that shit.
I saw it, and I wanted to
Right.
I wanted to support.
Right.
And here, the young man don't know me.
Right.
But just because word of mouth. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He posted the picture and said, you guys have to try this. And hook me. I need 2. And the
that's what
guy
I'm
dropped them
talking
off for me yesterday.
And see, this is what I'm talking about. We have our people out here doing their things. That's another wine company. Now that's the second black owned wine company they're doing is talking about. We first had what's the young man name that was here? Gerald was here with his wines. Yes, and now she's telling you about another wine company. We have to support each other. Even if everybody knows that everybody's not holding a lot of money, but buy a bottle of wine because I drink Stella Rosa. And I have tried other people's wine, and it's just the one that I like. But I still purchase other people's wines too. Because Stella Rosa costs $15. You understand what I'm saying? And I'll buy 2-3 bottles of that to have in the house. But I like to have other people's wines and stuff in the house too. And don't forget about Shannon, Big Exclusive. Because I just told him today, like, I ran out of my little cotton candy, clean cotton shea butter.
And I texted him the other day and told him I needed some lavender one. And he said, all right, I got you.
Yeah, so don't forget about Big Exclusive Shannon. He has iCraftMart. It's iCraftMart.com. And he has wines on there, hand lotions, shea butters, brownie mix, all lip kinds. Gloss. Yes, his daughters have their lines on there as well.
And the girls actually have a YouTube channel. So you guys go on and support that as well.
Yeah, so always don't remember, support our guests, support black owned business, support small businesses.
And if you need a mover, look up Big Movers. No, 5800 Movers.
Oh, I got
Major Movers. That's my cousin, and I don't even remember.
I got
Major
a
Movers.
whole bunch of his cards.
So my cousin Dennis Moss, look him up on Facebook. If you need to move, he does cleaning and hauling. He cleans that clean outs and all of that stuff. But he also does moving. Okay. If you're moving from location to location, so consider him. And we put these people out there. We put these names out there for you guys to take advantage of it.
But that's just like I just like to give you guys encouragement because somebody gave me some encouragement. And I just feel like even though, a lot of people might not take what you're doing seriously, it doesn't matter. As long as you take what you're doing seriously, it will work. Because I firmly believe that if you put your work into something, there's no way you cannot succeed if you're working at something. If you really want to do something, you can succeed at it. You just have to have that faith that you can do it. And you also got to have willpower. And that's and for me, the whole willpower thing is more than just a word to say willpower. It's so many things beyond that. Because at the end of the day, it's the will that we have to get through the struggles that we have in our lives, the bad times, the good times, the failures, you know what I'm saying, the embarrassments, all the things that we'll go through in our life before we get to where we want to be. We may not even know where we get to you may never stop. You may never stop accomplishing things. You may never have an ending point. But as long as you know that you're working towards something and that you're striving for something, that you have a goal, no matter what it is, set a goal for yourself. Even if it's a small goal, even if it's something small like me, like tonight, my goal is not to eat ice cream when I get home. And that might be a little small goal to you. Yeah. But I am not going to be embarrassed to say that I have gained 34 pounds. And I am seeing it in every bit of every pair of pants that I can fit.
I understand.
So believe me, my goal is to get this weight off of me. At least I got to get these 37 pounds off. Because I'm not going clothes shopping and buying no big clothes.
I bought ice cream. I didn't eat it last night, and I didn't eat it the night before. And I don't think I'm going to eat it tonight. Because when we leave here, I'm going to get me something to eat. So I won't be eating ice cream. I'll have ice cream tomorrow.
I got to eat it. But it's our time. And tune in for Tunnel Bangers, where we will be a guest tonight on Tunnel Bangers. And